Debating on screen and off that she was just part of my 10 Most Fascinating People of 2003 special that aired just a few days ago. She deserved to be. In her latest movie, Cold Mountain, she plays a Southern belle who has to learn how to survive during the Civil War. And she may have to make room for another Oscar in her trophy case. Take a look at the scene.
Name me 3 herbs that grow wild on this farm.
I can't, all right? I can talk about farming in Latin. I can read French. I know how to lace up a corset, God knows. I can name the principal rivers in Europe. Just don't ask me to name one stream in this county. I can embroider, but I can't darn. I can arrange cut flowers, but I can't grow them.
This is a terrific scene in a terrific movie. And by the way, that's Renee Zellweger, who's playing opposite Nicole Kidman there. Please welcome Nicole Kidman.
Hi.
Love that girl.
That's nice. Yes.
So listen, you know that I saw Cold Mountain and we've talked about it, and one of the things that interested me so about this epic film is that you play this, as we could see, this rather fragile young woman who has to learn how to exist during the Civil War, and Jude Law, we should also mention, is in it. And you said that this role is closest to you as a person. How are you, Nicole, like Ada?
I think Ada exists in her head a lot of the time. You know, she's raised by her father to read. She plays the piano. And she has this very strong inner life. And then suddenly she's sort of thrust into having to take care of herself. And for whatever reasons, I related to that.
A little like Scarlett O'Hara. Right? It is.
Everyone keeps likening the character to Scarlett, but actually their motivations, their underlying motivations are completely different.
For you, what you're saying is that you lived a lot in your inner life and you were protected by family, by husband, and then you were out on your own.
Yeah.
You haven't done too badly since you've been out on your own.
I'd say not. Yeah.
I sort of had to grow up pretty quick, so.
Well, we had Madeleine Albright on recently, and she said that her divorce made her stronger, and she wouldn't even be where she is without it. Do you feel that way?
I think when you undergo sort of a traumatic time in your life, and you sort of have to, you say to yourself, well, I'm either going to get through this or I'm not. When you have children, you don't have a choice.
Right.
As you know, you've got to suddenly go, okay, I have to pull myself together, no matter. That's what my mom was like. I was like, I can't go on. My mom's like, yes, you can. Get out of bed.
You have a movie
so she was the inspiration,
you have
really.
2 kids down there waiting for breakfast. But that truly is sort of the thing that makes you put one foot in front of the other. And off you go, you know.
I want to talk a little bit about this film, but not just because you're so wonderful in it, but the shooting conditions were, oh my gosh, there was Transylvania, Romania where you shot. There are wild dogs, there's bears, there's cold temperatures, it's raining all the time. And you say...
It was raining during the summer. It was when Eastern Europe, it was last year, and Eastern Europe had that huge sort of 21 days of rain, and they had to evacuate Prague at one stage. And so, of course, you know, we need the sun and the heat, and instead we get 21 days of constant rain.
And yet you describe it as one of the most, or actually the most joyful shoot in your career.
Well, in terms of, yeah, I mean, I was away. There's something about being up in the mountains. I love the mountains. Wherever the mountains are, I'm very happy to be there. So we were isolated really in the mountains, making something we all felt really, really passionate about. And that, as an actor and as a person, is so fulfilling. So.
And what about the people? I mean, this is the first time you worked with Jude Law and Renee Zellweger. What was that like?
Well, I'd known Renee because I remember when she was cast in Jerry Maguire, and Tom came home and said, oh my gosh, we've just found this girl. She is extraordinary. She sort of walked into the room and she read the scene for them, and she got the part like that. which is unheard of, right? But she is truly one of the great actresses of our time.
She is. I mean, she was incredible in this film.
Yeah,
I mean,
she came in, I call her the fireball, because she comes in and she just basically commands the screen, doesn't she?
We should just say, even though it's filmed in Romania, this is about the Civil War.
Right. It's set in the South, and they shot for a period of time, but because it's such an epic film, we, and the cost of it, they thought that it would be easier to set it in Romania to actually get the sort of the epic quality. And you know, you still have mountains where you can't, there's no power lines, you don't see, I mean, you can do 360-degree shots and it looks
like
authentic.
the time period, right?
It's so strange.
So are you ready? You know, I was teasing you backstage about this. Are you ready for the Oscar buzz? Are you ready? Miss, you won last year Best Actress for The Hours, to shove some things over to the left and put another one there. The buzz is there, Nicole. You don't have any choice.
I mean, for me, this film is so much about the director and the story. I mean, I think it's a really important. Anthony Minghella is the director. He wrote the screenplay. So you have the director, writer, and
he wrote The English Patient.
He did, and he won the Academy Award for that, didn't he?
I think so.
But he's one of the true. I mean, he's deeply romantic, as you can tell from the films that he makes, and this is a very romantic film. But at the same time, he has such a vision in terms of being able to capture these landscapes and so in the same way that he caught the desert in The English Patient, I think he catches, you know, he catches the war in a way you haven't seen for a long time.
There's a refreshing humility to you, because you did not answer the question about yourself. But I'm going to tease you about it, because I have very good instincts
Star
in
likes
this.
to tease.
That's right. Something tells me.
You're teasing her about who?
The Oscar buzz that's around this. That's it.
Well, I get to give out Best Actor this year.
Oh, that's fun.
Wonderful.
So they were asking me, who do you think's going to be on that list? No,
You're going to wear that nose, are you?
no, I got my own nose, except I think I'm probably going to do Bewitched. Now everyone's been asking me, am I going to do it? So I'm now working on the... I got to get that down. That doesn't come that easily. I don't know how she did it,
I know,
actually.
she's good.
Oh, to move her nose like that?
I tell you.
Do it like Tabitha.
Yeah, Tabitha did that, didn't she? We don't have Tabitha in the movie
Stick
yet.
around with us. We should mention, because we've been talking about Renee Zellweger, that the romance on film, not off camera, on camera, right? Jude Law. Okay, cleared that up?
Yes, thank you, Barbara.
We'll be right back with Nicole Kidman.
I'm not smiling in it. I don't know how to do that. Hold the smile.
Ida.
What?
Just once I want to be kissed like that.
She
that was
covers
good.
her eyes when she sees
It's a much
herself
longer
getting
kiss
kissed.
than that. That was
I know, that's nothing compared to what comes. That's true.
We fall to our knees.
I know it is.
But why do you cover your eyes? It's so cute.
Because it's embarrassing.
I wanted to ask you, Nicole, because here you are, this wonderful actress, and you rarely go to your films. You'll go to screenings, and then you won't go in.
Yeah.
What, you say it's too painful to watch yourself?
Yeah, it's like, oh, you've done it, you know what I mean? You don't want to go back and sit there and watch it. I have a lot of... I did a play here, I did a play in London, and then we brought it to New York, and the director was constantly, they come and give you notes after, you know, once a week they'll come and see you, the directors, after you've got the show up, and they'll come and give you notes. And my note was always on my bow, because I would be like, oh, apologizing. And he'd be like, you cannot do that. They're clapping, and you have to stand there and take the applause. And I'm like, no, not in my nature.
He didn't give you notes on your nude scene in that play, though, did he?
You know she knows everything, okay?
So you're hard on yourself. apparently.
I still, you know, you have that ridiculous thing inside you where you still don't ever feel that you're, you know, good enough.
Good enough,
so.
yeah.
Never and you're working. I mean,
does anyone ever walk around and go, "Wow, I feel really great"?
Yes.
I'm like the best. Do they? I don't meet them.
Yeah. But you know, it is true that they say that in film after film, you don't want to do them, you turn the part down, you never think that you should do it, you don't think you're right for the director, right?
And then I think I'm going to get fired.
Then you think you're going to get fired.
But I love that Meryl Streep has that same thing.
Yes?
Yeah.
Even when
She
you-
says she calls up a week before and quits the film because one, it's too hard, so we both do that. And then during it, you think, my God, I can't do this anymore. I know he's going to fire me.
How'd you feel about yourself in this? In
this, I'm so proud of it as a piece of. I think it's an important film now. What it says, because it's sort of a celebration of family, and it's a celebration of humanity. And I think now at this time, particularly,
and love.
Yeah, and it says that we can all protect and nurture and help each other, even in times of huge sort of turmoil and distress, and I think that that's a really important message.
And it was riveting. It was absolutely riveting. And not only are you hard on yourself, but you just keep working and working and working. I mean, I have a list here because there's so much going on. I mean,
Give me the list,
you have 3
'cause a lot
movies
of
out
it's
right now.
Not true.
No, okay, well let's check
Let's
it
see
out.
what's
Cold
true.
Mountain,
Yes,
The Human Stain with Anthony Hopkins, and Dogville. And you
Dogville.
just finished The Stepford Wives. Is that correct?
Yes, and I'm now on holiday for 3 months.
Okay, so this is now you work hard.
Till
so you-
July next year.
You push hard for a little bit, or a
Yeah,
long
and then
bit.
you go and
pack
you
it
sort
in.
of you hibernate. But I'm going back to Sydney because my parents are. I'm so proud of this, having their 40-year wedding anniversary.
Oh, wonderful.
On the 19th of December. So. And they still hold hands. They do.
Isn't
and
that
they
nice?
kiss in front of you.
And
And you go, stop it.
You never want to see that.
You know, when we did an interview recently, you said that if you fell in love, you would work less. So speaking of Elizabeth's question, are you planning to work less? Is that subtle enough?
That was
very
subtle.
good.
That was very
It's
subtle.
Barbara.
So the question is.
I don't even know what the question is.
I'm sort of in a position where I'm, you know, feeling my way through something, and please.
That's it.
Enough said.
That's okay.
You know what? We're gonna get you out of that one because
Thank you, Star.
it's interesting because we were both
I'm
we were
terrible.
all
I
talking about
answer
it.
everything. I'm like,
You did just fine.
Okay.
You can always tell. See, the godmother sits there. She looks good, so you did just great. We were, we were laughing about it earlier. You're so humble, so gracious, an elegant woman. I mean, and most people, you hear them talking about you, yet you are on the cover of all these magazines. There are things that are written. How do you shield your kids and your life and still operate in Hollywood? How do you do that?
Well, I don't live in Hollywood, for one.
That's it.
And, you know, in terms of your children, that's probably the thing that you know, you become fierce as a mother if people are going to try and hurt them, or so I set up incredibly strong boundaries and barriers so that so their world isn't penetrated. And that's hard, you know, it is hard. But at the same time, they're 8 and 10, and until you're 18, no, I make the decisions and you do what I say.
Exactly. Spoken like a real mom.
But it's for their own good, and you know, they're doing great. They're great kids. My daughter came to the Academy Awards last year.
Isabella.
And Connor wasn't allowed to come because he was 8, and he's never let me live it down.
He'll come to the next one when you get your next
No,
statue.
now he's saying, well, you got to get nominated again. And I'm like, whoa, take it easy.
Exactly.
But I bring them in the back way. They're not photographed. They, you know, they know, and they
That's the
know
way to
the
do
sort
it.
of
There
rules,
you are.
and so.
You know, we've spent a little bit of time recently, and I want to say this to you, and I want to say this to the public. This is one of the nicest, most gracious, really sweet, modest. You're just a terrific, special lady. Happy holidays to you. No, you're going to put your hands over your eyes,
And
right?
enjoy your 3 months. Thanks, Nicole Kidman. Cold Mountain will be in theaters on Christmas Day. And when we come back, Ruben Studdard is singing his latest hit.